Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ambassador Tai, it is so good to see you. Congratulations. I want to add, like all of my colleagues, and to Angela as well, two strong women leading in such an important position in this country. I don't think there's any time that trade has ever been more important than it is right now, and I'm so glad you're there, and I'm so glad for your openness. I look forward to working with you as well on the resolution of 232. I won't go into the details of it because we've talked about it, but that's an issue in my district as well. On 301 exclusions, I, along with a bipartisan group of over 100 of my colleagues in the House, recently sent you a letter requesting that USTR start that exclusion process. In addition, I would urge you to restore all the lapsed 301 exclusions in order to provide relief to U.S. businesses and their workers in the immediate term. I've heard of many instances where companies and their workers are being disadvantaged by these tariffs because they manufacture here in the United States. This is an urgent matter in my world. Without targeted relief, these tariffs will hurt our economic recovery. Another important issue is renewing GSP as quickly as possible. Its lapse is currently hitting manufacturers in my district, such as the RV industry, to the tune of $1 million per month, and I know my constituents are not the only ones feeling this kind of pressure. Mr. Chairman, I hope you and I can work together to get GSP as well as MTB across the finish line. Lastly, I want to touch on a proposal circulating the WTO seeking to waive intellectual property protections for COVID-19 vaccines and other treatments. I've seen little evidence on an IP waiver will increase the global availability of the vaccine, since so many of these countries are ill-equipped to produce the vaccine without technical support from the manufacturer. I also don't understand the rationale of giving away American intellectual property to our economic and national security competitors like China. If providing vaccines worldwide is the administration's goal, there are other ways to achieve it without undercutting the companies that have invested the resources and the hard work in developing these vaccines and other treatments to fight the pandemic. I support efforts to accelerate production and distribution of vaccines and other COVID-19 response items, but don't believe that this is the right approach. My first question, Ambassador Tai, so are you planning to restart the 301 exclusion process, and are you willing to restore the expired exclusions while that process gets in operation again? And then on a related note, when can we expect the administration to complete its broader China review?
Thank you, Congresswoman. On the 301 exclusions, it will be part of our top to bottom China review. And so, as I know that you know, and thank you very much for the letter that you sent, these letters are important. We read them very carefully, and we think through our responses pretty carefully too. Most of the exclusions had expired at the end of last year, the posture that we have adopted, again, wanting to be maximally thoughtful and taking advantage of the opportunity that we have right now at the beginning of the administration, is we will be undertaking the question of the tariffs, examining them, examining the exclusion process together. I know time is of the essence. I feel it, the urgency in terms of those in our economy who are just wanting to bounce back and who work so hard. So my commitment to you is that this is one of our top priorities. We have so many of the really talented and hardworking folks at USTR working on this, and I hope to be able to come back to you soon with more specifics. I know how important this is to you, to others, and to small businesses, large businesses, and workers in America.
I appreciate it. My final question is, what's your perspective on the implementation of the U.S.-China Phase 1 trade deal in terms of medical devices, which were included in the deal's purchase commitments?
So this trade deal is also, we have been conducting an ongoing assessment of China's performance, and it's mixed. It's mixed. With respect to your specific question on the medical devices, let me go back and check so that I make sure I'm working with the most updated data, which is always a little bit of a lag, and get you a good answer on this as opposed to just what my impression is.
I so much appreciate it. Thank you so much. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
I thank the gentlelady.